Hello everyone, I am Ramya. I am working as Assistant Professor in Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. I am going to handle the Unix system programming for the 7th semester. So before going to any subject, so we have to know what this subject is. So when it came into exist, so for what purpose we need to study this subject. So all these things we have to know before going to study any subject, right? So now first we are going to see though, so what this Unix system programming is. So what this Unix system programming is. Unix is a family of, what it is? It is a family of multi-user, multitasking, operating system. So now in one word we can say that it is a family of multi-user multitasking operating system. So Unix is a one of the operating system. So we know that many operating system, right? Like for example Windows operating system, Android, and then though many operating system is there, right? So similar to that, the Unix is also a one of the operating system. So which is having the multi-user multitasking operating system. So what is this multi-user? Is nothing but, so that is nothing but though the Unix operating system allows though more than one user going to log into the Unix operating system. So that is the at the same time more number of the people can log into the Unix operating system. So that is what the multi-user. Now multitasking. So multitasking is known as what it is. So the multitasking is nothing but though the user is going to perform though multiple tasks, that is more than one task at the same time. So that we are going to call it as a multitasking. So now the Unix operating system is going to support the multi-user and the multitasking. So that is nothing but the multiple user, that is the, suppose for example consider we are having n number of user, n number of the user can log into the Unix operating system. What they are going to log into the Unix operating system. Multiple user can log into the Unix operating system at the same time, and also they can perform the multiple tasks. They can perform the more than one task at the same time. So that we are going to call it as a Unix system. That is nothing but the Unix system programming. So now multi-user multitasking operating system. So as I said, the operating system, the Unix is a one of the operating system, right? So what is this operating system is? So operating system which provide an interface between the user and the hardware, so which makes the hardware to work. So that we are going to call it as a operating system, right? So now the operating system which provide a interface between the user and the hardware. So the user don't have the direct communication with the hardware. The only through the operating system the user is going to access the hardware devices. So this operating system is going to provide an interface. So other than that, it is also going to manage the IO systems. So it is also going to manage the memory management. So memory management, IO management, file operations, and the switching the process, all that execution of a program, all that thing is going to be taken care by the operating system. So which is going to allocate a resources for the user. So now we know what this operating system is, right? So operating system, it is going to provide an interface between the user and the hardware. So that is operating system. Unix is a one of the operating system, right? So how the Unix architecture is going to look like? So now the Unix operating system have the two important agencies. So what it has a two important agencies, that is nothing but the shell, and the another one is nothing but the kernel. So these are the two important agencies which is there in the Unix operating system. So now how these two agencies is going to help the user. Let us see with the architecture, with the diagram, then we will explain though in detail. Now the Unix is contains the layer architecture. The first one is nothing but the hardware. So we are going to call it as an hardware. Second one, we are going to make use of the kernel. Now next layer which comes to the shell. Now the multiple user can log into this shell. Right. So now this is the architecture how the Unix operating system is going to look. So three important layer is there: hardware, that is the inner layer, next one kernel, next one shell, and the user. Now the user is likes to communicate with the hardware only through the shell and the kernel. So what is the shell and the kernel is important. So now the shell, what it is, which is provide a interface for whom? For the user. So what it is going to provide? Which is going to provide a interface for the user. So similar to that, the kernel which is going to provide a interface to which one? That is hardware. Interface to the hardware. So now we can say in a single word, the kernel is a heart of the Unix operating system. Now the kernel is going to provide a interface to the hardware which makes the hardware to work. So whatever the file management, IO management, and the memory management, resource allocation, all these things will be taken care by who? That is by the kernel. In which one? In the Unix operating system. So that is about the kernel. Now shell, what it is going to provide? Which provides an interface to the user, right? So user is going to log into this Unix operating system only through the shell. So we can say that in a single word, the shell is nothing but the interpreter. So what we are going to call it as a interpreter. So what is that means? So what is the interpreter means? So now the interpreter is nothing but, with the example we will explain. Now the user, suppose for example user 1, 2, 3 user is there. Now user 2 likes to execute the command, that is ls command. Now ls is a command. Now the user 2 likes to execute this command. So what happens? Unix operating system, he is going to enter the ls command in the shell interpreter. Now the shell is going to take that command and it is going to check whether this command is a valid or not. So whether this ls command is there in the Unix operating system or not. So then after that, so what it is going to check? If ls is present, that is the listing the file, that is listing file command is present, then only it is going to transfer the controls to which one? That is to the kernel. For what purpose? For executing the ls command. So now the shell is going to check whether the command is correct or not. Only if it is correct, it is gives to the kernel. So otherwise it is going to replay back to the user directly that the command does not exist. So what is the advantage of this? So which is going to reduce the overload to the kernel. So how? By checking initially whether the command is present or not. So this is the one of the advantage of using the Unix operating system. Suppose for example the user is going to enter the one more command, that is MIT. Now this is a command. Now the user is entered MIT command. Now the MIT command will be given to the shell, and it is going to check its list whether the MIT command is present or not. Since it is not a valid command, so it is going to directly send the message to the user, the command not found, the command not found. So it is not going to give to the which one, that is the kernel. So this is how the Unix operating system is going to work. So this is the operating system, two agencies, kernel and the shell, the Unix operating system is going to support. Now we understood what is Unix, right? Now we can say that the system program is nothing but the activities of the computer system software. Together we are going to study the Unix system programming. So what we are going to study under this subject, we will see it later. First we studied what this subject is. Now let us see when it is came into exist. The second question is when. So first we are seeing what this Unix system programming. Now when it came into exist, so which is came into exist during the 1960s. During the 1960s only the Unix operating system is came into exist. So who developed this? So the two important person and the other, they are teamed together and they are developed the Unix system programming. That is nothing but the Ken Thompson and the Dennis Ritchie. These are the two person. They developed the Unix operating system at AT&T laboratory. So at AT&T laboratory they developed the Unix operating system in the year 1960s. Who? That is Ken Thompson and the Dennis Ritchie. So these are the two person. So now we are seeing what this subject, when it came into exist, what is the importance of this subject. So why we need to study this subject. So that is what we are going to study. Next one is under the overview. The third question is why we need to study this subject. So the two important thing is we have to consider for why we need to study this subject. So before that I am going to say the application, that is nothing but the advantage of studying this Unix operating system. First one, so as I say that the Unix system programming, as the definition say that it is a multi-user, right? It is what it is, multi-user. So it is going to allows the multiple user to log in, right? So Windows is a single user. So now the multiple user can log into the Unix operating system at the same time. Now second advantage of using Unix operating system is multitasking, right? So multitasking is nothing but we are going to perform more than one task at the same time. So other than these two, so one more important application or one more important advantage is it is a open source. So now the open source is nothing but which is the Unix operating system is freely available in the internet. So you can just download that Unix operating system and install in your system directly. So that is the open source and it does not have the license. So Windows is a licensed version, you require a license, but in the Unix operating system it does not require a license. So that is why it is a open source. So other than that, which is going to provide the programming language concept, that is it is going to provide the shell programming. So it is going to provide the many filters, that is nothing but the command it is going to support. So you can perform many operations on the Unix operating system. So all these things we can perform in the Unix operating system. So as a student, so we have to ask ourselves, what is the advantage if I am going to study this Unix operating system, what benefit I am going to get, right? the two benefit you are going to get with this. The first one is job opportunity for the Unix. So if you look at if you I googled the what is the currently job available in the for the Unix operating system in the naukri.com is 24178. So this many jobs is currently available for the Unix operating system. Now since it is a open source, most of the companies, most of the organization, they are going to make use of this Unix operating system. They are using that currently, right? So if you know that Unix operating system, if you are familiar with this operating system, it is easy for you to get the job in the top companies, right? So what are the top companies? What are the currently using the Unix operating system? So that is nothing but for example, the company they are using is, if you google that, it is going to list out the companies which is using the Unix operating system. That is the Amazon, Apple company, now Red Hat, and then the Oracle, IBM, Infosys. So many companies they are using the Unix operating system. So one thing you have to keep in mind, so if you know the operating system well, so it is easy for you to get the jobs, right, in the future, right? So that's why it is better for you to study the Unix operating system. So now we are studied the three things. So what this Unix operating system, when it came into exist, and why we need to study this Unix operating system. So now that is about the overview. Let us brief out. So what we are going to study in each module, that is we are having the 5 modules. So what we are going to brief out. So what we are going to study in this modules. So first module is about the introduction. So what is that means? What we are going to study in this module 1. So in the module 1 we are going to study the important things, that is Unix operating system and the POSIX operating systems. So now first thing we are going to study that, so what is the standard the Unix operating system is going to give for both the C and the C++ language. So it is going to give the standard for the programming languages, right? So which one? That is the Unix one. So it is going to provide a ANSI ANSI and ISO standard for C and the C++ programming language. So which is going to provide a ANSI and the ISO C and C++ programming language. These are the programming language. For that it is going to provide a standard. So that is the American National Standard Institute and the Institute for the Standard Organization. So both they together they give the which one, that is the standard for the C and the C++. So now after that we are going to study the different versions of the Unix. Since we are having the different version of the Unix, we have to study the different APIs, right? So to overcome that problem, to give the common standard APIs for the Unix versions of the operating system, they introduced the standard for the Unix, that is nothing but the POSIX, that is Portable Operating System for interfaces. To provide an interface among all the Unix operating system versions, they introduced the POSIX. Now we are seeing what are the different types of the versions is there in the POSIX. So what are the constant it is going to support, so what are the different APIs, so how the APIs is going to be used in our program, that is application program interface. All that basic things, basic concept we are going to study in the module 1, that is about the introduction. Second module we are going to study about the Unix file and the APIs. So how the file is going to be created in the Unix operating system, so what are the different types of files is present. Suppose for example regular file, directory file, device file, symbolic file, FIFO file, pipe file, all that will be going to study one by one in the different types of the Unix. Next, what are the characteristics is there in the files, what are the characteristics is available for the given different types of the files. So now after that, what are the different APIs, that is application program interface is for the file. So to perform any operation in the file, that is for example to open a file, to create a file, to read and write the file. So to get that information, the Unix operating system is going to provide the APIs, that is application programming interfaces for the files. So all that information we are going to study under the module 2. So now in the module 3 we are going to study the Unix process and the process control. So we know that the program under execution we are going to call it as a process, right? So as I said, the Unix operating system is going to support for the multitasking, right? Multitasking. So to make the multitasking, it has to make use of the multi-process concept. So now the process program under execution, we are going to call it as a process. Now how the process is going to be managed, how the multiple job is going to be executed simultaneously. So what are the environment, Unix environment, how the process is going to be created. So which are the APIs it is going to support for creating a process. So how the parent and the child process is going to be differ. So what are the different types of APIs. So all that things we are going to study in the module 3. Now in the module 4 we are going to study the signal and the daemon process. That is nothing but the signal is nothing but what? It is a software interrupt. What it is? Software interrupt. So while executing the program internally, the process is going to be created. So multiple process is there. So to access it is going to access the shared memory, and then while accessing that shared memory there will be some interrupt, right? So suppose for example while typing the program, if you are going to open the one more window and you are going to press the escape sequence, so then you are creating the interrupt for the execution of an program. So that we are going to call it as a signal, that we are going to call it as what? Software interrupt. So now daemon process is nothing but the long process that is going to be created when the user is going to log into the Unix operating system. That is, when the operating system is going to be booted, the daemon process is going to be created. That we are going to call it as a root, that is going to be taken care all the internal operations of the kernel. Now after that, the module 5, it is about the inter-process communication. So inter-process, all these three is related, that is module 3, module 4, module 5. So module 3, we are seeing how to create a process. So now while executing the program or process, so the signal is going to be interrupt, that is nothing but the software interrupt. So what are that daemon process? Now after execution, after the software interrupt, so we are going to study the module 5, that is inter-process communication. So what is that inter-process? As the name says, that we are going to support the multi-process, right? So multi-process, so more than one process is there, right? So more than one process is going to be created for execution of a program. So after creation, so it has to be exchanged the messages. So it has to exchange the messages. For that, it is going to follow some technique, that is example message sharing, shared memory, semaphore. It is going to make use of the FIFO file. It is going to use the pipe concept. So to exchange the information, it has to make use of that techniques, right? So to provide a communication among the users, we are going to study the inter-process communication. How this is going to be happens? By using the different APIs. So that what we are going to study in the 5th module. So we are going to study the 5 modules in the Unix system program. So next we are going to study the what is the course outcome. Now let us see the course outcome. So course outcome is nothing but if you are the user is going to study this subject, that is Unix system program. So what the system student is able to. So the student is able to apply the basic concepts for creating applications in the Unix. That is nothing but the basic things. That is the what is Unix, and what are the different versions of the Unix is there. So what is the standard it is going to provide. So what are the system configuration limits. So how the values is going to be set. So all that basic concept the user is going to study. So now second one, the student is going to perform the file related operation. He is going to perform file related operation, so by applying the file concepts. So now the third one is the student is able to analyze the process and the signal and how the inter-process communication is going to be happens to create the one application in the Unix. Now the fourth one is, so after studying this basic concept and the file related information and the process signal and the inter-process communication, so at the end he is able to build the application or any services so over the Unix system. So these are the outcomes the student is going to get after studying this Unix system programming. Let us brief out what we are going to study in the module 1. So in the module 1, we are going to study what is the Unix and the ANSI C standard. So that is nothing but Unix is going to provide a standard for the C and the C++ programming language, that we are going to call it as a ANSI C and the ANSI C++. So what is this ANSI? Is nothing but the American National Standard Institute. So there will be a standard, that is ANSI and the K&RC and the system V. So they are the standard. So they introduce those standard for the programming language like a C and those C++. So in the first we are going to study though what is the difference between the ANSI and the K&RCC. So both are the two standard for the C programming language that we are going to study in the first topic, that is the difference between the ANSI and the K&RCC. Next, so as similar to the C, the ANSI is going to provide a one more standard, that is ANSI C++. So for the C++, it is introduced the standard that we are going to call it as a ANSI C++ standard and the ANSI/ISO C++ standard. So what is that C++ programming language? So how it is going to be different than the C programming language? That is C++, which is derived from the C. So other than the C, which is going to provide many features like inheritance, polymorphism, and then the abstraction. So next, after that we are going to study what is the difference between the ANSI C and the C++. So next comes to the POSIX standard. So what is that POSIX? So POSIX is the operating system, that is nothing but the portable operating system for the interfaces. So which is nothing but which is provide a standard APIs for all the Unix version. So we are having different types of the versions in the Unix POSIX, that is the POSIX.1, POSIX.1b, POSIX.1c. So these are the different versions of the POSIX. Now POSIX.1, which is mainly used for the basic operating system. So POSIX.1b for the real-time operating system, POSIX.1c for the multi-threading. So all that thing, what is the difference between that three different versions of the POSIX, we are going to study. Next, after that we are studied what are the different system configuration which is going to support during the compile time and the run time. So how the POSIX environment is there, so that thing we are going to study in the POSIX standard. So after that we are going to study the two more important standard that is POSIX is going to support, that is POSIX.1 FIPS, Federal Information Processing System, and then the XOpen standard. So these are the two standard which is going to be given for the POSIX. So next, after that we are going to study the APIs, that is what is that API, the application programming interfaces. This is going to be given by both the Unix and the POSIX. So what is this? It is nothing but the set of application programming interfaces function that is used in our program, that is user program, to make or to perform some system specific operations. To perform that one, we are going to make use of the APIs. So what is that APIs? So what are the different types of APIs? So which the Unix and the POSIX operating system is going to provide. So what are the common characteristics? So while executing the APIs, what are the error we are going to get? All that information we are going to study. So in the first module, that is introduction.